welcome, little listeners, to tonight's bedtime story on our magical podcast, where dreams take flight and adventures are as big as your imagination. Today, we're going on a special adventure with a little girl named Nina, who thought washing dishes was the most boring thing in the whole wide world. Can you imagine finding dishes in garden flower pots and woolly boots? Well, that's exactly what happened in Nina's house. But everything changed when her clever granny came to visit. Are you ready to discover how washing dishes turned into the most magical part of Nina's day? Let's begin our story, Little Nina's Dishwashing Adventure. 6-year-old Nina had one big problem. She absolutely did not like washing dishes. Not even a tiny bit. Washing up is boring, she would say, crossing her arms. And the water makes my hands all wrinkly like an old prune. Every time Mum asked Nina to help with the dishes, she would suddenly remember very important things she had to do. Like checking if her stuffed bunny needed a nap, or making sure her crayons were arranged by colour even though they never were. But Nina's biggest secret wasn't that she didn't like washing dishes. It was what she did with them instead. You see, Nina had turned hiding dirty dishes into an art. She had special hiding spots all over the house, and some were quite clever indeed. Behind the living room curtains, 3 bowls played hide and seek. Under her bed, a colony of crusty plates had formed their own little village. And in her bright yellow boots, that's where she kept the spoons, standing up like tiny silver soldiers. One morning, Mum was in a right pickle. Aunt Betty and Uncle Jim were coming for tea, but she couldn't find enough cups. "Nina, dear," Mum called out, "have you seen any of our teacups?" "No, Mummy," Nina called back, trying not to look at the flower pot where 3 teacups were hiding beneath the daisies. Another time, Dad went to water his favourite plants and found a soup bowl tucked behind one of the plants. "Oh dear," he sighed, picking up the bowl with bits of yesterday's pasta still stuck to it. "Nina's been at it again." The final straw came when Mum had to serve birthday cake on paper napkins because all the plates had mysteriously vanished. "Nina, we need to talk about the dishes." Nina's tummy felt wobbly. She knew she was in trouble. "Sweetheart," Mum continued, "I know you don't like washing up, but hiding dirty dishes isn't the answer. We need them for eating, and it's not very nice finding crusty bowls in your toy box." Nina looked down at her feet. "But Mummy, it's so boring, and the bubbles make my nose tickle." Mum gave her a hug. "I understand, love, but being part of a family means helping out even with the not-so-fun things." That night, Nina lay in bed thinking about all her hidden dishes. She felt a bit guilty, but she still couldn't imagine ever enjoying washing up. Little did she know, things were about to change in the most magical way. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, while Nina was trying to squeeze yet another plate under her bed, the doorbell rang with a cheerful ding-dong. Standing there was Granny, her silver hair dotted with raindrops and her famous purple handbag swinging from her arm. Nina loved her Granny more than anyone else in the whole world, her warm hugs, her giggly stories, and the way she always smelled like fresh biscuits. "Hello, my little pickle," Granny called out, opening her arms wide. Nina ran straight into them, breathing in the lovely smell of lavender and chocolate chip cookies. But then she remembered something that made her tummy do a little flip. Granny had the sharpest eyes in the family. After tea and biscuits, which were just as yummy as they smelled, Nina tried to sneak away with her dirty cup. She was just about to pop it behind the bookshelf when— "And where might that cup be going?" Granny asked softly. Nina froze, cup in hand, looking like a rabbit caught in a garden full of carrots. It's going for a walk," Nina tried, giving her best innocent smile. Granny patted the chair next to her. "Come here, love. I think it's time I shared a very special secret with you." Nina shuffled over, still clutching the teacup. She was sure she was in trouble now. But instead of looking cross, Granny's eyes were twinkling like stars. "Do you know," she whispered, leaning in close, "that dishes can be magical?" Magical? Nina's eyes grew wide as saucers. "But they're just dishes." "Oh no, my dear," Granny said, rolling up her flowery sleeves. "This isn't just washing up. This is running a very special spa." Nina wrinkled her nose. "What's a spa?" "It's a place where people go to relax and feel lovely," Granny explained. "And our dishes, after working so hard holding our food, deserve a nice spa day too." Granny filled the sink with warm water and added just enough soap to make soft, fluffy bubbles. "Now," she said, picking up the big serving plate from tea, "what does this remind you of?" Nina tilted her head, studying the round plate with its slightly curved edges. After a moment, she gasped. "It looks like an elephant." "Exactly!" Granny beamed. "And this elephant has had a very busy day, holding all those heavy biscuits. Its poor feet must be so tired." Nina giggled. She'd never thought about dishes having feet before. "Shall we give our elephant friend a lovely warm bath?" Granny asked. Together, they lowered the elephant into its bubble bath. Granny showed Nina how to use the sponge very gently, like giving the elephant a nice back rub. "Is the elephant happy?" Nina asked, carefully washing around the edges. Granny put on a deep, posh voice. "Oh yes, this is just what I needed after such a busy day. The bubbles are perfect." Nina laughed so hard she got bubbles on her nose. As they worked through the pile of dishes, each one became a different animal with its own special personality. The teacups were tiny mice wearing fancy hats. "Oh my, these bubbles are so soft," Granny squeaked in a tiny voice. The soup bowls became sleepy tortoise. Nothing better than a warm bath before bedtime," Nina said in her best slow, gentle tortoise voice. But everyone's favourites were the spoons. They weren't just spoons. They were a family of playful penguins. "Look, Granny," Nina giggled, making a spoon dive into the bubbles. "This little penguin loves swimming." Water splashed everywhere, but neither of them minded. They were having far too much fun. Nina even remembered some of her hidden dishes. "We have more spa guests," she announced, running to fetch the bowls from behind the curtains and the cups from the garden. "My," said Granny, "we do have a full spa today." The next morning at breakfast, something very surprising happened. "Mummy," Nina said, putting down her empty cereal bowl, "can I wash up today?" Mum almost dropped her toast. "Really? Are you sure?" "Yes," Nina nodded eagerly. "I'm running a spa for very special animal friends." Mum looked confused but happy. "Well, all right then." These days, things are very different at Nina's house. No more dishes hidden under beds or behind curtains. No more spoons in wellies or cups in flower pots. Instead, every washing up time is special. Nina has even made a sign for the kitchen that reads Nina's Dish Spa. Only happy animals allowed. Sometimes, when Granny visits, she brings special bubble bath that smells like strawberries or lemons. "For our special spa guests," she says with a wink. One evening, while Nina and Mum were doing the washing up together, Mum asked, "Do you still think washing up is boring?" Nina shook her head, sending bubbles flying everywhere. "Not anymore. It's my favourite helper job now." She looked over at the photo on the fridge. The one of her and Granny covered in bubbles and wearing the biggest smiles ever. You know what, Mummy? Nina said thoughtfully. I think sometimes the most boring things can become the most fun if you just add a little bit of magic. And that's how Nina discovered that even the most boring tasks can become wonderful adventures. Next time you help with washing up at home, why not try giving each dish a special animal name? Maybe your plate is an elephant having a bubble bath, or your spoon is a penguin ready for a swim. Remember, a sprinkle of imagination can make anything fun, even washing the dishes. If you enjoyed tonight's tale, don't forget to share the story with your friends and subscribe to our magical podcast. As the story ends and the children close their eyes, they enter a world where anything is possible, and then they dreamed.